Well, you really do have to hand it to Doc Rivers at this point. This guy, despite a vast and storied career of almost unimaginable playoff gag jobs, just continues to find a way to dazzle us. His continued exploits keep moving the bar higher and higher for all that will follow him. The GOAT, playoff pants pooper in NBA history. Hell, arguably all of sports history.
What a hell of a coaching job.
Just when you thought he couldn't possibly do anything else to increase his already unrivaled legacy at the very top of the pantheon of choke artists, I give you Doc freaking Rivers.
That is ridiculously bad. It really is.
And his legendary Game 5 Eastern Conference first-round exit, what ultimately ended up as an elimination game for the Bucks, a gentleman's sweep, and the 10th first-round playoff exit for Doc Rivers of his 21 playoff appearances. He is the only coach in NBA history to blow more than one 3-1 series lead, and he has done it 3 times, with the 2003 Orlando Magic, the 2015 LA Clippers, and the 2020 Clippers. On the 2015 Clippers gag job, by the way, they led by 19 points late in the third quarter of Game 6, and they managed to lose by double digits somehow in that one, while the famed 2020 collapse in the bubble featured 3 straight double-digit second-half leads lost against the Denver Nuggets. But that certainly isn't all. Rivers has also lost 5 3-2 series leads, including 3 3-2 leads with the Big Three of the Boston Celtics era, which included one of those in the NBA Finals. But again, just when you thought Rivers had shown us everything, poured out all of the diarrhea in his arsenal, he delivered last night's magnum opus.
What a hell of a coaching job.
A blown 7-point lead in overtime with 35 seconds remaining. And per tracking data going back to 1995, thus, the last 20 years and counting, teams up by at least 7 points with 40 seconds or less remaining in a game had been 1,176 and 0. But ladies and gentlemen, I give you Doc Rivers.
That is ridiculously bad. It really is.
And in fact, there is only one other team ever over that 20-year span of time to blow a 7-point lead in the final minute of a game, and that was the 2014 Clippers, who were of course also coached by Doc Rivers. And it is this shit right here, this amateurish garbage, as to why Giannis needs to get far, far away from the Milwaukee Bucks this summer. This is a guy who won an NBA championship with Chris Middleton as his next best player. A guy who averaged 35 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists per game on 62% shooting from the field in an NBA Finals series that he won after trailing 2-0 in that series. A guy who had 50 points and 14 rebounds in a closeout game in that series. This isn't about Giannis. It's about, well, injuries, if you ask Doc Rivers.
And then this year we didn't have Dame Lillard, who's, by all accounts, is one of the greatest players to play the game. But we won't hear that story this summer. We'll hear that we've lost in the first round, and we'll live with that.
Though, more than that, it was about execution down the stretch, or should I say, lack thereof.
These games, they'll kill you. They really will. Execution down the stretch is something that you must have, and we have to own that. We failed in that department tonight.
And that falls on the head coach. Yes, make no mistake. Since Giannis's first league MVP campaign during the 2018-2019 league year, his aged 24 season, and running through this season, Antetokounmpo is averaging 30 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists on 57.5% shooting from the field. And for some comparison there, LeBron's aged 24 to 31 seasons, an 8-year span of time where he won 3 of his 4 NBA titles. Well, here are his statistical outputs. And okay, I know, the pace and scoring is different now versus then. Sure it is. So here is the per 100 possession rate for both Giannis and LeBron during those spans of time. And yeah, what I'm saying here is, while Giannis may not be perfect, as his game still at this point of his career has some limitations. He struggles with ball handling at times, he is a streaky shooter, and a poor free throw shooter at times as well. He also has some undeniable failures in clutch time. But those were the same criticisms of LeBron James, while Giannis is better at nearly everything than LeBron career for career to this point. More athletic, more efficient, better at defense. The difference between the two is why LeBron won those 3 titles during that span of time is because he surrounded himself with 2 perennial All-Stars and Hall of Famers on 2 different teams while having 2 elite coaches, while Giannis is dogged on teams with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday as his top 2 options, and with bum-ass losers such as Doc Rivers at the head spot. Run, Giannis. Don't walk. Get the hell out of Milwaukee. Save yourself and your career. It is time for Giannis to demand a trade right now. Guys, many thanks for following me here on YouTube. If you are not subscribed as of yet, please consider doing so at this time. You can also follow me on X and Discord. Information on how to do that in the description below. And stay tuned for more from me. Until next time.